It will never be as strong, that imposter syndrome, as the first day you walk in to that campus. After you've gotten the job, you sort of build yourself up with your good job search skills when you're on the interview. And usually the interview for an academic job is 2 or 3 days. And it's intense. But you get the job, you dance, you jump up and down, you drink, people buy you flowers. Probably you move, which is not a minor thing in your life either. To go along with all of this is that now you're taking your whole support system, leaving it behind, moving for your first academic job. And you walk in that first day. Now here's the really bad part. Usually we start in the summer. Most academic positions start July 1, almost universally, or January 1. But generally, July 1, nobody's there because it's the middle of the summer. This happened to me at the University of up the canal, right? And you walk in and the departmental administrators or department secretaries or administrative assistants, whatever they're called at your university, they're on vacation. There's one there, but it's not usually the head one. You understand, as you've been grad students long enough, who is the one person you need to ingratiate yourself to more than anybody else on the entire campus? Your departmental administrator, not the president, not the provost, not your chair, not your dean. That departmental administrator can make or break your happiness for the next 20, 30, 40 years of your life. But she or he is not there because it's summer. And often they haven't thought about where they're going to put you yet for your office. That's not at all unusual. We have that happen here at Carleton all the time. We have a fairly good support structure for new faculty out of our office and out of our faculty recruitment and support office. But the departments will still, oh, didn't somebody order you a phone? Probably not. Computer, yeah, you're going to get a computer. It's part of what you get, your grant as a new faculty member. And when the departmental administrator is back in 3 weeks, you can talk to her about the form that you fill out. So you kind of walk in and you wander around and you know probably what you're teaching. Somebody has managed, the dean may have a little chat with you, or maybe the department chair or somebody who will become removed after that day. And you may know what you're teaching, but that's about it. It's really disorienting. And that's when that imposter syndrome, you may not even see it coming. And it just hits you, right? Broadsides you, and you think, I'm not supposed to be here, and they know it. That's why I don't have a phone. They're not giving me a phone because they know my phone wouldn't be connected long enough to make it worthwhile. And so what you have to do is you just have to sort of suck it in and suck it up and go forward and pretend to be somebody else until you feel confident and comfortable enough in there. Because the first couple of times somebody calls you doctor, it's cool, but it's also weird. And you feel uncomfortable and you think, oh, I can't let them call me doctor because, I mean, all your committee will do that. You know, congratulations, Dr. Miles, and everybody, ha-ha, you're a doctor now. But the first few times when you're talking to your students or maybe people that you're meeting with and they'll say, Dr. Miles, would you like, you almost always want to go, no, call me Carol. I am not pretentious enough to want to be referred to as Dr. So-and-so. Yet when you think about all these people in your academic life, some were doctor, some were Joe. Some were professor. Everybody else is comfortable with this, but that imposter syndrome part is cool. But it's cool. Get your business cards printed up. When you book airline tickets, I'm not joking about this. Write this down. Write this down. Make sure they call you doctor. Change all, I'm not joking, change everything that you've got, your online information, your credit cards, order new ones. Don't order more because this job doesn't pay very well. But order new ones because that doctor makes enough of a difference once in a while. You've worked for this. You've worked harder for this than most people work for other titles and for other things. And just sometimes on that airplane, when that boarding pass says doctor and there's a mix-up with the seats, you're the one honest. You're the one that gets moved up to business when there's no seats left in coach. Don't walk onto your first airplane and say, hey, this says doctor, I want to sit in business. It won't work like that. But it's the little things. You'll go into a restaurant, you'll go into a store, you'll hand them your credit card, and they'll go, oh, doctor, what are you doctor of? Now, they'll all assume you're a physician. This is not, this is good. This is okay, right? Just say, now, and I always say psychology, so they kind of continue to assume that.
But not an emergency.
Not, and they say, is there a doctor around? I'm like, If somebody has a total mental breakdown, maybe I'll step in and try to help. But otherwise, yeah. But that's probably me, so that's probably not good. But it's true, you've worked for it, but that imposter thing, that feeling okay about calling yourself doctor, there's times you'll find you raise it. You call the auto shop and say, this is Dr. Miles, I'd like to know. It works. And then your friends look at you and go, oh, God, but it works. And you use in life what you have, and you've worked for this one. So, but be ready. The most thing I want to tell you about that is you need to be ready for that, because you're not going to expect it to feel as strange as it does, because all of a sudden all that work of all that dissertation and your examining committee and all of that seemed like a really big deal when you did it, but it's not going to seem like a really big deal. We have lots of seats over on this side, by the way. No, it's fine. Don't feel bad about we're informal here. When you're done, you're going to go, is that all there was to it? I know you're not thinking that now. But that's where the imposter syndrome comes in as well. You can't wait to stop pulling all-nighters, because in grad school I don't know how many all-nighters I pulled, because I was procrastinated on my papers because I was marking the late papers that my students had procrastinated on. So by the time I got to my own, it was usually 3 papers in 3 days. Yeah, I can do it. Oh, how many of you are still kind of mid-program taking coursework? Anybody? You are. Tell any of your friends who are in grad school, who are going into their PhD and have to take coursework, don't take courses for fun. Don't say, I'm really interested in, I'm doing all this thing on measurement and whatever, but I'm really interested in, I don't know, counseling of children, so I'm going to take this counseling children course, even though it's not relevant to my dissertation, because I'm interested. Because what you should be doing, and this is true for master's students as well, is every paper that you write in a course should be a piece of your final document. Should at least make a contribution to your final document, so that when you go to write your dissertation or your thesis, your lit review, you can haul out a bunch of the papers that you wrote along the way in the different courses. I didn't do that. I did a master's in one thing, started a PhD in one thing, and then did a complete about-face, so my coursework was useless to me when I got to the final writing part. So tell people that. That made the all-nighters even less useful. But you'll always pull all-nighters. You're still going to be marking papers till 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes. The research grants are what will keep you up the latest, because it's just, a research grant just seems like it's never done until the last potential deadline to put it in the hands of the courier that's like when the last copy gets printed off, because we can always make our research grants better and better and add a little more support and a little more. So for practical reasons, you don't necessarily want to get it done ahead of time. And the all-nighters remain. Let's see if this thing's going to continue to work or no. Oops. See if we can make it go backwards now. It worked. Here's the strangest thing of all. This is the oddest job in the world for a number of reasons. One of them is most of the skills that you are required to have in this job, even though you've now been to school for probably 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, somewhere around 10, 11, 12, maybe more years post-secondary, nobody has actually taught you anything about any of the job duties you're going to have in this job. You have focused on your academic area. We talk about this with professors all the time. We evaluate professors at the end of every term in every class, usually in most institutions, with forms, and students all fill out their student rating of instruction forms, and sometimes we have peer evaluation in the classroom, and sometimes we do things like this with micro-teaching, and lots of ways we evaluate people. But it's the only profession where we are evaluating people's job performance on something that they have never been trained to do. Think about that, how strange that is. It's part of the strangeness of this. Now, this is where I can haul out the drum and beat it for the teaching and learning centers. I work in the one here at Carleton. Pretty much everybody's university now, I suspect, has some form of teaching and learning support. Some are very large, very well-developed centers with workshops and programs and consultations and orientations, and some are a little bit smaller or less formal, but they're still there. But that's an after you get the job thing.